Yeah, that looks like a bluff. Yep. All right, welcome everybody to this thing that I'm doing. I finally cashed in the Hot 55. Whoops. And things have been going pretty smoothly, I must say. I guess there's 87 players. But anyway, I have this is the first time that last hand was the first time in this whole tournament that I have not been doing something else. I was making and eating breakfast throughout the entire first part of this tournament. And I don't even remember a time when things got dicey. Yeah, my chip graph tells the story. It's just been up and up and up. Not many pullbacks. It's just been like flat sideways, playing tight because I'm making and eating breakfast, and cashing in on the bigger hands. So sitting with 75 big blinds and a turbo right now, which is pretty good. I tried a couple times in the last few days to do well in this tournament, and this is actually my first cash, so I'm pretty happy about that, especially to actually have a decent stack coming into it. So yeah, I mean, I can't complain so far, but I have this looming feeling that something's about to go wrong. So yeah, I feel like gambling too. Like fuck this guy. That sucks. I'm gonna lose this one for sure. Nope. Oops. Oops, I did it again. What was I saying? I had a looming feeling that something was going to go wrong. And then I flipped for like half my stack. And that went well. Oh yeah, cuz I changed something. That's it. Yeah. Because I changed the parameters of how I was playing this tournament. Before it was making and eating breakfast, and now I'm, sitting at my computer, sitting up straight. Before I was watching TV and laying on the couch, and now I'm into it. So who knows how it's gonna go? Look at my chip graph; it's just fucking, uh, yeah, yeah. I have yet to be all in this tournament. That's a good thing. Which is pretty weird because I just noticed there's 915 players in this thing. That's quite a lot, more than usual for me. Yeah, it's a turbo though. I'm really happy that they brought back the 55-cent tournament. I really could have used this tournament at the beginning of the challenge. Now my bankroll is in the 190s, so it's not exactly like needed, but I am on a bit of a losing streak. I had 3 red days in a row, and I wasn't happy with the way I played. And even when I was happy with the way I played, I mean, just brutal stuff happened to me. Uh, which, by the way, I'm starting to realize that like I might just quit playing 8 game for a little bit because I noticed that every time, like the last maybe 10 8 game tournaments I've played, no matter what the buy-in is, no matter what time of day, I end up violently angry when I'm done playing the tournament. It's I don't know what it is or what comes over me, but like I mean, granted, some ridiculous shit has been happening to me in all the games basically, but I've nevertheless had a couple of cashes, and it doesn't seem to matter. I finished second in one with 97 players, and since then I haven't made any final tables, but I get deep in these things, and I find that regardless of what happens to me, like what my journey is in the tournament, I come away from the tournament really angry, not upset, not mildly irritated, like really slam my fist down on the table level angry, and that's not healthy. That's I'm not usually the type of person to get like that over poker, and lately, basically since the beginning of this challenge, it's been happening quite a bit, and that's starting to concern me a little bit. So I decided to kind of focus more on no limit hold'em, which is sad. I feel like I'm getting old. Like I asked myself after busting these 8 games in these PLOs, I thought to myself like, am I just a loser no limit hold'em player now? Is that what's going on? Like, am I over the hill and I can't form new ideas in these games and can't adapt anymore? And granted, this is a super small sample size, but I do think those are half-ass valid questions, and it's kind of scary because for basically my whole life, like 18 years, the entire time I've been playing poker, I've been excellent at non-hold'em games. That's where a lot of my money has come from, and I lately this year in particular 2022, I have had almost no success in these other games. Like especially Potlam and Omaha has been one of the roughest. 8 games, another example where I'm supposed to just crush that game repeatedly, and that isn't at all what I've been doing. I've been getting my ass handed to me, whether it's me making mistakes or whether it's other people making ridiculous plays and getting away with it. The gods dealing them whatever card they need. That's been happening a lot, but I don't ever think that that's an excuse. No matter how bad the cards are against you, there's always a way to get through it. And I clearly have not been finding the way through it. So, yeah, just all that to say that I'm sort of second guessing my profitability in non Hold'em games. And I noticed that, a lot of the success that I've had in this account has come from No Limit Hold'em. And so I figure it's reasonable to focus a little bit more on these No Limit Hold'ems. And most of the success has come from turbos. In fact, I don't think I have a non-turbo final table. I guess this one sort of counts. It's 7-minute levels. And then one up here, 6 max with 10-minute levels. But other than that, I mean, it's all been 5 minutes or less in terms of level length. And so I'm just trying to focus on that, and that's mainly why I played this. Not only because I haven't been doing so well lately, so I dropped down in the stakes a little bit. I took a shot recently at a 550 tournament, for $5.50, and that didn't go my way, so I decided to drop it down significantly and go down to the 55-cent level and see if I can get any traction here. And obviously, up to date, I've had substantial traction in this tournament. The Ace King hand that you saw not long ago, that was just about the dumbest thing I've done in this tournament so far. I did get a third of my stack in with 8s against kings earlier in the tournament, just before the money, maybe with like 200 players left. And I flopped an 8 and it held. So I have yet to be all in, but I did get a third of my stack in with a 20% hand. So that's not exactly ideal, but that said, that's about as dicey as it has been so far. So yeah, like I said a minute ago, I feel like something awful's going to happen to me, and I figure I might as well record it because it's always funny to watch blow-ups, especially when they're not yours. So for me, it won't be particularly interesting or funny if it happens, but for the viewer, I figure it'll probably be worth something. There's going to be action one way or another. I can assure you that. I'm not going to blind out of this tournament. I can guarantee that. I gotta say, my feelings in this tournament have been so on point, and I haven't been chasing them for the most part. But the old, I have a feeling this is gonna hit trick, that's been really, really accurate, scarily so. That guy's been making a lot of moves. I caught him in a bluff not long ago. Actually, yeah, that was the first hand I recorded. He's been doing a lot of over-raising and 3-betting, and I see him as super standard kids these days style. Just everything pre-flop and not a lot of game after the flop, as you saw with the hand where I caught him with ace-6. I'm pretty sure, to be honest, I would have called him down with ace-high. He actually had less than I gave him credit for. I gave him credit for a flush draw. I guess there's not a lot to be gained by putting in chips there. If I was alone, though, if I could guarantee it was only going to be 50, I probably would have called that. I just really, really hate paying off open shoves of that size. I hate giving people the chance to be rewarded for play like that. I'd rather force them to play after the flop with, whatever hand. Ideally suited connectors. So yeah, pretty solid prize pool in this thing, I have to say. I mean, it takes a long time to make significant money, but $74 up top, that's not a joke. And it's not quite as hard to get there as you'd think. Like, the hardest part is already done for me. Given my chip position now, this should be, if I'm not doing stupid things and gambling too much, even though I already did a little bit with that ace king. If I don't do really stupid things, then I should be able to coast pretty comfortably through a large portion of the tournament. The only real risk for me, the way I see it, is if I get a really big hand and then somebody does something crazy, and then the deck doesn't fall in my favor. That's generally how I've been getting destroyed lately. So I'd rather, yeah, like a situation like this. If I had, let's say, jacks, and I decided to reshove to isolate, and then a Belgian guy, it turns out he has ace three and just hits an ace kind of thing. Like that's where I see my demise coming from in this tournament. So yeah, I feel maybe a little bit too comfortable right now. I have to say, not in terms of like the poker, but just physically. I just ate a really big, nice breakfast, and I feel great. I feel like going to the beach and basking in the sun. And I think it's time to give it back to this guy a little bit. Try to isolate him. Hopefully he goes ballistic with sixes or something. Flip is not exactly my favorite. Good thing he didn't have sixes. But yeah, looks like chip lead for the first time in the tournament. That's cool. Overall lead, just under 100 big blinds. Can't complain. I'm gonna see if I can get some railbirds on my side here. Call in the troops. Nice. Within 10 seconds, I sent a message saying I'm currently chip leader, railbirds wanted. And within 10 seconds, a message comes back, you're going to blow it. I won't even bother looking. So good to know my friends. My friends have my back. Uh-oh. Fourth place guy just sat to my right. That changes things a little bit. Could be a super stack emerging from this table. I'm glad to see that big blind didn't squeeze there. So far, I kind of feel like I have best hand, worst draw. But I'm guessing there's a bet coming on the end, so I'm just going to give it up right now. I do feel like I folded the best hand there, though. In fact, you know what? This is perfect. I'm going to go for a smoke. I got walking around chips for days. Maybe I should wait. Whenever I think I should go for a smoke and then I don't, bad things usually happen. So, I know the blinds are approaching. How much do I really give a shit about that? Not much. Pair nine's good. That's not my favorite development. I'd rather have a bigger cushion than that. Yeah, should have gone for a smoke. Stupid me. I'm anxious to see showdown here. Min bet, min bet, min bet. Top pair. What was it? Ace 5, deuce, queen 4. Yeah, let's... I'm going to leave the door open here, hoping that the original razor shoves. Yeah, which he does. So that gets me heads up, which is perfect. 60-40. Sweet. That worked out exactly as I planned. Post lock super stack versus mid stack. Okay, yeah, so walking around chips time, smoke break. Alright, we're back. I wonder what I missed. Oh, that guy got moved, or I got moved, somebody got moved. I think it was me who, yeah, it was me who got moved. That dude's been running it up there. That was to my right earlier. Man, there's so many more chips right now. Like, yeah, average 100,000. That's pretty significant. 25 big blinds. In fact, it might be time to do the math here. 4.575 in play divided by how many seats? 8 or 9, I guess. 508,000 average at the final table. That's kind of a lot. I'm not used to having to build stacks that much to win tournaments. Oh my god, don't tell me it's one of these guys. This better be a rarity. If this happens every hand, I might just go for another smoke. Go to the beach for half an hour and come back later. Holy shit. Well, I was going to do something, but that's enough to scare me away. Let's see what my stats are. This is only since that ace-6 hand, and I just went for a smoke, so I sat out a bunch. But I've seen the flop 7 times, and I've won 7 pots. That doesn't mean I win every time I see the flop, but it's a pretty good put in chips to pots won ratio. Yeah, this guy's pretty sporty too. Man, there's some loose ass play going on right here. Meanwhile, I make it. Seems like a ideal time to tighten up because these guys are just firing 20 big blinds everywhere with pretty garbage shit. So I don't want to get chopped up by that. You may think, oh, it's the perfect time to catch them. Yeah, well, historically, when I try to catch guys like that and I ended up getting it in 70% or even 80, I tend to lose. And I know that's not a predictive bunch of results. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with the future, but I don't know. It just, things derail. And when I get it in 70% for, like, let's say I get 100,000 in against some guy all in with the 70% hand and I lose, that might be enough to set me off a little bit and piss me off to the point where I start making uncharacteristic mistakes. So I'd rather just have jack high and 6 high and 8 high all the time and have to navigate hands skillfully rather than just get it in with flips, even though even though you saw me jam it with ace king there earlier. Man, yeah, these guys just don't give a fuck. Oh, sick. Yeah, like this, I pretty much want to get off this table, to be honest, because I don't see too much good coming out of this. Like, a hand like this is a good situation, because nothing really bad is likely to happen to me. Although I have to say that flop's pretty tempting. It's supposed to be pretty well whiffs all around. Yep. But yeah, like, yeah, fucking hands like this, you know. I mean, if they're going to let me limp, then I'll gladly just limp and see the flop with everything. And potentially at this table, I mean, kings in early position or, you know, big pairs in early position, limping to re-raise might be a pretty good idea. Wow. Definitely don't want to slow play this against these guys. Maybe I did. I don't particularly believe this. Wow, that sucks. That's pretty dirty, especially with the jack redraw. Ugh. I suppose I could have peeled one, but I just felt there's too big a chance that he made 2 pair. And I wanted to get some chips in. Plus, more than anything, if he had a jack, because the most likely hand for him to do that with, in my opinion, was a jack. And I would be free rolling against almost every jack, so I don't really hate my play, even though it turned out he did have the flush. He wasn't even that far ahead, even with the flush. Yeah, like just 10-5 suited. These guys are crazy, man. This is weird. It's like limp. This is like limping hands, and then all of a sudden, overshove 25 big blinds. There doesn't seem to be an in between. So, my first huge setback of the tournament right there. That's a pretty significant one, third of the stack. And yeah, these guys just overshove, overshove, overshove. And I know they're doing it with stupid hands, like easily dominated hands, but it's tough to fight against if you don't pick anything up. Like that guy last hand, I would assume that that's something like ace 3. Like limp ace 3 and hit an ace and just blast it. Oh wow, what a river. This is getting crazy, man. Like these guys don't seem to give a shit about their tournament life, which is not the best for me. I feel that my best option is probably to start 3-bet jamming, which sucks. But I'm gonna have to shut down a lot of these opens, like from Spurs Army. I feel he's not gonna slow down most likely, and the table just got a lot more stacked. We certainly have the most chips at the table out of any table left. I'm gonna play this one pretty straightforwardly. I would have called a river bet there. Good thing he didn't make it. I would bet that's a monster, by the way, from Alex Rich right now. I would have loved to have that read confirmed. Yeah, pretty dicey spot though all of a sudden. My chips definitely evaporated. I'm below average for the first time since ever. Almost ever. I kind of hope I don't have to get too much in here. Although Spurs Army, I wouldn't mind a re-raise. God, that's so gay. I feel like that's a flush draw. Man, that's so sick. I really feel that's not a king. I don't see how it would make sense for it to be a king. But I can find a better spot than that. Hopefully. If it was a flush draw, I might not find a better spot than that. There's a break in 7 minutes, and at this point, I think I need it. Man, this is so ballistic. I need to take control of this tournament for sure. If I'm going to do well in this thing, I need to be the chip leader. I need to be dictating the action. Because allowing this overshoving to keep going is not... It's not good for anybody who wants to, like, you know, make an impact with skill or reads. Reading people before the flop on overshoves is not really all that easy. You can obviously very quickly surmise that they're not doing it with big hands all the time, but beyond that, I mean, it's, you know, there's way too much risk in there. I kind of wish I didn't have a pair right now. I'd rather that 5 be like a 7 or a 4. This is nevertheless a more comfortable spot than the queens, though. I'll tell you that. Get the rage quit ready. I think I'm trying to push him off like ace 4 right now. I don't know if it's going to work. He's already shown himself to be sticky, but my story's really good right now. Fuck. Ace 4 does not go away. Good read, bad execution. Ugh. Sickening.